Tell me, man.
Never heard of Posey Parker.
Well, Colin.
Morning.
So yeah, Mr. Axe.
You're back
Steve's
on
here.
your old.
Well, you know what? I left it alone, but there's been some developments as far as compelled speech and freedom of speech, whereby me and Steve, we radically disagree. I'm still assuming we do on the whole trans issue, perhaps, but we can discuss it. We live in a supposedly liberal society. We can vehemently disagree on this subject, and we can go outside of this park. We should be able to go and discuss this subject, but increasingly, even to question any of these statements, or to attempt to deny what these people would say is true, as far as they're concerned, can lead to serious consequences. So there's a lady, she's a feminist called Posey Parker, and funny enough, she's lesbians, feminists, they seem to be all corralled at the moment. One of the main concerns is the fact that women's safe spaces and men starting to get into these safe spaces, and that makes them feel uncomfortable. And I suppose the biggest one, the latest one, is that the dictionary definition of woman now, if used in certain areas, has become a hate crime. Okay, but Mr. Axe, this is more important. Have you heard of RSE? Lots of people. Steve's got a child at school, hasn't he? Yeah. So RSE is the new, I think it was Justin Greening, the old education secretary. Right. Well, not many parents, I don't know about you, but not many parents ask their children what they did today at school or what they saw at school today. Okay. But with this new sex education system that is being put into schools from a whole variety of independent sources. So what we have here, if you have a close look, this is one that is recommended by East Sussex Council, the Sex Education Forum, Brighton and Hove City Council, Healthy Schools and North Yorkshire Council. As you can see, not everybody has these, but they select them and they're given them by a variety of different sources. So this is one for 7-year-olds. 7-year-olds are going to be given the what do they say? They're gonna be given the keywords, and then these things they're gonna have to say, well, hang on, what does that mean? And they're gonna have to find the meaning of that and put them together. Now these are the things that 7-year-olds will be sitting around a school table. Here's one for you, look. See, when me and Steve were at school, I don't know, I was quite a bottom feeder actually, so I probably would have been aware of a few of those things. But I don't think it's a good idea for the lowest common denominator to be the thing that sets a standard for all children. Now, this is just the first year this is going to be rolled out, and the thing that really depresses me is the fact that they've now withdrawn the right for parents to make the choice to have their children taken out of those lessons. Everybody gets this. There's one size fits all. Every child will have it. No, not just in private.
Well, it's that's not everywhere. I can assure you, my son didn't have
Okay,
that.
Worcester Council have got these in, and they've got even worse ones.
It's not national, is it? It's not everywhere.
It hasn't started yet. It starts in 2020. This is the beginning of the rollout.
That won't be rolled out nationally.
Okay, if it was, how would you feel? Worcester Council use it. There's 300 schools in Worcester that are using one that is far worse than this, and I didn't even want to bring the stuff in. Now this is just the beginning. I don't think teachers want it, and I don't think parents want it, but there are radical elements, and I'm not going to just say LGBT elements, there are radical elements, but probably far more in my book, even sinister than that. There is something very strange going on where childhood innocence seems to be something that needs to be overcome as quick as possible, as opposed to something that should be safeguarded for a period of time. So when you're old like me and Steve, you can look back and you've got a few happy memories. Yep. Here you are. This cannot lie. This is actually what is going on right now in schools.
We just said it was 2021.
No, it's coming out in 2021
So
nationwide.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe? You're the second person. You don't believe this is being used in school. You don't think this is being used in school.
That's not being spread nationwide.
Okay. Do you believe this is being used in school, Steve?
Well,
Do you believe that it's been using being used in East Sussex County Council?
I'm not sure 7-year-olds, as that's what you've quoted,
This
are
is
being
what it
taught
says.
what anal
This
sex
is what it says, look.
7-year-olds are being taught what anal
If
sex
they
is.
were,
I don't
how would you
believe
feel?
That would be wrong. Very
It would be
wrong.
completely wrong.
And I don't believe
If
it.
I can prove it to you, will you help me man the barricades then and protect your child, your son,
Well,
from having...
my
It
child is
used to be.
beyond that now.
Okay, right. How old is he? 12, 13, heading
Nearly
to...
12.
Okay, so he's heading to secondary school. Okay.
in secondary
The
school.
development, the trend, the...
So you say.
No, the evidence says, not me. I'd like to just, Mr. Act's viewers, this is not me hunting this out. This is
Well,
something
you have,
that...
haven't you?
No,
You
I
haven't
have not.
accidentally stumbled across this.
You seem almost to be offended by me bringing this to people's attention.
I don't believe you. I don't believe
don't
that
believe?
the anal sex education for 7-year-old children is going to be rolled out nationally to all schools. That is nonsense.
Do you believe that it's been rolled out in Sussex County
There may
Council?
be 1 or 2 schools. I don't know.
How does that
to
make you
7-year-olds.
feel? How does
to
that make you
7-year-olds.
feel?
Are you
Yes, to
sure?
7-year-olds.
Are you sure?
Yes, of
Are you
this.
sure of
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Have
I'll
you
tell you what,
spoken to
I'm
teachers or
going to.
schools?
No, I rang up. It's called the Christian Institute.
Oh well, they're going to be unbiased, aren't they?
Why are they going to be biased?
Well, because that's hardly an independent
Why would
source to
they be making
ascertain
up-
what's actually
Why
going
would
on
they
in
be
schools.
making up
Speak
things
to the
they don't
schools.
want to happen?
Speak to the
Steve?
schools.
Why would they make things up
Because
that
that's
they don't
what
want to
because
happen?
that's what extremist Christian organisations do.
Well, everybody,
like they
Steve,
take
I'm
these
really
nonsense cases
disappointed
to
with
employment
you.
tribunals, absolute nonsense cases to employment tribunals, where
Yeah.
one after another they're thrown
Steve,
out
do you
at
have a
tribunals.
problem with me bringing this to public awareness?
I have a problem with exaggeration. I
Is
have a
this
problem with
exaggerated?
myth.
Is this exaggerated and is this a myth?
I
I can assure everybody.
But you haven't
who
spoken to the
is
schools
watching
or to the
this
educational
video.
authorities.
Research
You've spoken
it
to some
yourself.
extremist Christian
Don't
organisation.
listen to Steve, who's
making
very
allegations.
agitated.
But you get the
about
proof from the schools and
This
from the
is proof.
educational
This is
authorities,
proof.
not
This
from
is
some
the proof.
extremist Christian
This is-
organisation.
this is the proof.
That is not proof.
Steve.
Christian organisations,
Steve,
extremist,
Mr. Axe,
Bible-bashing Christian
is
organisations,
East Sussex
are
County
not
Council
proof. But you've
an
not
extreme.
spoken to
Hang
them.
on,
You've not
hang on,
spoken
Steve.
to them.
Is Brighton and
You've
Hove
got this from a Christian
City Council,
organisation.
healthy schools? I can assure you, if they
Get
if
the
they made
evidence
one
from the
footstep
educational
outside
authority.
of the bounds of accuracy, those organisations would be on them like a ton of bricks.
But
They
your
would
only
shut
source
whole
is the
thing
Christian
down.
organisation. That
They're
sounds
the
a bit
ones
dodgy
who
to
have
me.
actually. They're the ones who are trying
Get
to
it from the
defend children's
council.
innocence.
Get
You
it
don't
from the
seem to be
council.
interested in
because I don't
children's
believe
innocence.
this is
Actually,
this is propaganda.
I'm glad that this is Steve's
whipping up
reaction
propaganda.
because I can tell
it's not
that
true.
Steve
it's
doesn't
typical
want
what
this to be
extremist
true.
Christian organisations do.
So Steve is saying
Right.
this isn't true.
Well, your only
Mr.
source
Axe.
of evidence is some extremist
No, it's
Christian
this.
organisation.
It's
You haven't gone to that.
It's this.
Have you got that from East Sussex County Council
you doubt
website?
it? Do you doubt
Have you
it?
got that from East
Let's-
Sussex Council?
Rather than just
Have you got
going
it
on
from
and
East
on
Sussex?
and on and
You
on,
haven't,
Steve,
have you?
why don't we do
You
this?
haven't, have
Why
you?
don't we do this? If
You've
I can
admitted
prove
your
this,
only
no, I
source
haven't.
is an extremist Christian
This
organisation.
is the source. Steve.
What, you've gone to these councils,
This is
have you?
the
Their
source.
websites, their
Okay, I suppose-
education
I suppose
departments?
Steve could say
Can you answer a
that-
question?
yeah, go
Have
on.
you gone to these councils, either their websites? Have you spoken to them?
I've
Have
gone
you
to their
emailed
websites
them?
and you can get this pack from them.
From their
Yes, but they
websites.
won't unless you're an educationalist get hold of that pack.
So you're an educationalist
Now,
and have got hold of
no,
it?
you can't.
So you haven't got it from them?
Steve, I'm not
So you
sure
haven't
what your
got-
point
so you
is.
haven't got
Are
it
you
from there?
saying that this
I'm
isn't
trying to-
happening in
I'm-
schools? Is this your point?
Yeah.
You're saying this isn't
And
happening
your
in
and your
schools.
only source of
Okay,
evidence is an
Mr. Axe.
extremist Christian
Mr.
organisation.
I think
and
you
they're
think
hardly an
Christians,
unbiased
by
source,
definition,
are
are
they?
extremists in your
No,
book
no,
anyway.
not at all. But there are some
It's-
extremist
I'd like
Christian
to say,
organisations
I
out there.
find 7-year-olds
Who are
being
pushing
told
out
about
propaganda.
anal intercourse as extreme. Steve doesn't seem to think
Of course
that this
it would
is
be,
the
but it's not
biggest deal.
happening. It's not happening.
I can't wait.
7-year-olds are not being taught
Mr.
about
Axe,
anal intercourse.
I will be bringing more evidence that Steve will
never
have
my
to
curriculum
accept.
when I was
No,
at
nor
school.
my,
No,
nor my
no,
son,
I never
who has
remember
just
anything.
gone.
Hello,
through
children.
this.
Today we're going to lecture you on anal intercourse. Wasn't sort of
I
in
said
their
if it was
curriculum.
happening, if 7-year-olds were being taught about anal sex, that would be wrong.
Right.
What they
But I
showed
don't
you
believe
was
it's
this like
happening.
sperm
But I don't
thing
believe
and
it's
that's
happening.
funny.
Well, I did say that.
Where
10 minutes
don't you
ago.
believe
Even
it's
show the
happening?
sexual organs.
Because your only source is some
First of all,
Christian
you said
organisation.
it's not happening anywhere.
You
and
just
now
said,
you're
oh, they
saying
won't
it's
release
not,
it. They won't
now you're
release
saying
it.
it's not happening in Sussex County Council either. You don't believe
I'd
it's
like
happening
to,
anywhere.
I will not pass judgment until I see the evidence
Okay,
from
Mr.
the
Axe,
organisation.
I've come today to the park to share some information that
You seem a
lots
bit
of
rattled
people,
that someone
no,
challenges your
I'm-
Christian
no,
source.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What is
This
it?
is not a Christian
What
source.
Well, he quoted some. What was the Christian
Colin,
organisation.
It's
Colin,
called
what-
Institute.
Colin, what
Christian
source is it?
Institute.
What source is it?
Christian
They
Institute.
have identified curriculums that are being used in
When you
schools.
say they, who is?
Christian Institute.
Is it?
They've identified
Shall we look up
curriculums
who the Christian
that are
Institute
being
are,
used
shall we?
in
Shall we just
schools
do some
today.
research on the
I
Christian
tell you what,
Institute?
why
I don't
don't
think
you
they're
No,
educating
because
children
that's
in
your
anal sex. I
source.
can't see
You
that.
just told me they don't release it unless you're an educational specialist.
Have a look.
So
I'm
there's
sure.
no point.
I'm sure you can dig
You've
something
already done
up.
it though.
I don't
Christian
quite
Institute.
understand where you're actually going. You denying it. It'd be very simple if you just say, Colin, I think you're lying and you're a Christian extremist and you're trying to scare
Well, I
people,
don't know about
which
you,
is
but your
essentially what
sources
you're
are.
saying.
Your sources are.
Mr. X, I am very happy to stand by every single word of this. Okay, I will bring more proof as the weeks and the months go by. This is exactly the style of curriculum that was being put in. Have you heard about the Birmingham schools? This is the curriculum that was.
Yeah, the
was up
Birmingham
there as
schools
well.
were religious extremists bloody demonstrating on the pavements outside as children
Why?
go to school, and they've been
Why?
banned from
Why?
doing that
Why?
because they're extremists.
They're extremists
They're
because they don't want
dangerous
their
and they're
children to be taught
extremists.
how to
And you-
masturbate. Would you like a teacher teaching your son how to masturbate, Steve?
At 11,
Would
nearly
you?
12, not a problem
What about
with
at
it.
7?
When did you
Did
start
you hear
doing
that?
it?
Hang
When
on.
did you start doing
Steve
it?
doesn't
Have you never
mind.
heard
When
of
did
We
you,
just have
when
that
did
quote.
you start
Steve
doing
said
it?
Have you never heard
at
of
the age
Playboy
of 11 and 12, he
Exactly.
wouldn't mind a teacher teaching his son
Playboy
how to
magazine,
masturbate. He has no
Well,
problem
obviously not
with that.
physically.
No, well, yeah, well, we're hoping. Maybe you could go in and demonstrate,
Actually,
Steve.
I've got to
They
be
might
careful
pay
because
you.
I'm
When
talking
did you
about
start?
a
Wait,
masturbation
when did
record on
you
Mr.
start?
Rex. We have to be
Not
careful.
sooner than you, I
Of course,
reckon.
I've never done anything like that ever in my life.
Wankers. Gosh.
Absolutely, I wouldn't be doing anything like that.
What about you? Have you stopped? That's the most
I'm out of
important.
fire
I've
stopped.
stopped.
Why is that?
I'm clean, mate. Are
Oh,
you
so wanking is
No,
dirty.
do you
is it?
still masturbate?
Is it dirty?
Did you have one this
You
morning?
just said clean. No, I did not.
Yes, I do. I do.
You just said you're clean now.
I think yes. I think
Well, your,
masturbation is a sin.
prostate probably isn't clean if you're not doing it.
I don't know.
Your
know.
tubes
I'm
probably
sure.
aren't clean.
I bet
if you're
yours
not
is
doing
clean as a
it.
whistle. I bet they're as clean
Well,
today.
and actually,
Steve.
there's evidence that it's a good preventative measure to
Are
prevent
you
prostate
addicted? Are you a
cancer.
chronic masturbation
No, I am
addict?
not.
Right.
Why not?
But you do know it's good.
Why not?
Let me
You
just
have no
summarise
time on
this
hand.
to
You
the
know,
camera.
proactive-
We've got the
proactive,
Christian Institute,
treatment for,
masturbation,
prostate cancer,
anal
Go on then, to have
sex,
as many
and
ejaculations.
Not as
which one
many,
have you been
but
masturbating?
But it would help.
reasonably
This is
frequently.
going really
How
well so far. I
frequently?
don't
I
really
Catch
don't
up, mate.
know.
But only
Look
2
at
What
that.
would you
minutes to
recommend?
11
Maybe let's see if the Christian Institute covers it in their research.
Well, as you can see, me and Steve, right, Steve doesn't want to believe
early
it.
doors
I
of
do
Steve.
believe
This
it.
is the
Steve doubts
conversation
my
we're
evidence,
having.
I
Yeah.
accept my evidence. We will see, as the months go by, this will become common fare, standard fare in schools
The
because they've
Christian
been
Institute is an
hijacked.
evangelical
They've been
Christian
hijacked
group
by...
promoting a fundamentalist Christian
do you know what
viewpoint.
fundamentalist Christianity means?
Well, yeah, a bit like fundamentalist
No, it means
Islam.
you believe
It's the
it.
weirdos.
No,
it's
it
the
means you
radical
believe it.
extreme.
No, no, it's
the
unlike
radical
you, where your
extreme, just
liberalism
like
has
the
gone
Islam
completely haywire.
fundamentalists.
Huh? Are you radical?
On what subject?
Yeah. Anyway, Mr.
Oh,
Rax, I
radical.
brought it to your attention. Parents don't believe me, don't believe Steve. Check out with your school what their RSE curriculum is
check
going to
it out, Steve. We need
involve,
to check
and
it.
I'll leave it up to you.
The Christian
It's as simple
Institute's
as
most
that.
notable campaigns are against homosexuality. There
Yes,
you go.
yeah.
And against gay marriage and against civil partnerships. So that's where they focus their bigotry.
Is this
that's
a
where
woman,
they
Steve?
focus
Is this
their
a woman?
Well, what's that got to do with
I'm just
homosexuality?
asking, I want to define
Why
what
are you
are.
worried?
Steve,
Why are you
just-
worried?
Last time I
Just
saw that
confirm
was in
for me.
Tel Aviv
Steve,
Pride.
is this... Yeah,
Tel
probably
Aviv
the
Pride
same
was
person.
like-
The
Steve,
Christian
Steve.
Institute's activities
Good old
resulted
Tel
in
Aviv
censure
Pride,
by
you
the
see, they don't
Charity
worry about
Commission
overcoming
in
it.
Just read
2001
that.
for breaching rules limiting overt political campaigning by charities.
Yeah.
So they've been investigated by the Charities Commission
Oh, they
for
never
breaching
have,
charities
Steve.
law.
Serious, my word. Have they been found guilty? They've been investigated by the charity commissions.
That's how-
Heavens help
that's
us.
how
What
good
are they?
they
Some
are.
kind of fundamentalist crazies?
That means you're in the
Yeah.
same club as the
But
jihadis.
Steve, can we widen the
Exactly.
conversation, Steve? Steve, just to see. I just want to see
Anyway,
where
I'll
you
shut up
are
because
on
Mr.
this
Rex
one,
doesn't want me
Steve.
talking over
Do you
stuff,
think
does he?
this is a woman, Steve?
I'm not bothered. It doesn't matter
But
to
do
me
you
whether
think-
she's a. I don't care. It's not of interest. Why
It's
are you,
not of interest
why are you
to you.
obsessing
Because
about
I
it?
think it's
Why-
insane. Because I think
Well,
it's
so
insane.
what? What harm's it doing you?
But is it insane?
What harm's it doing you?
It's going to do this country a lot of harm.
Oh,
Because it's going to
really?
be taught
How?
to children in those same
Oh, it's gonna be taught
curriculums.
to children?
Yeah. Steve
So
doesn't
if it
seem
wasn't
to have a
taught to
problem
children,
of
would you have a problem with
LGBT, trans and masturbation being allowed to be taught to children in primary schools. I think it's wrong. This is where we differ.
Because you're a.
I'm going.
What?
I didn't even finish my sentence.
No,
This
no,
is-
no,
I
go
was
on.
read it. I wasn't in that school where they learned that you told me. And
You wish you
I
had
think-
been there?
Yes, sir.
Well, listening to, he wishes he had been
And
there.
I think some people miss the sexual revolution.
The Christian Institute funded the defence of the Christian hotel owners accused of acting unlawfully under the Equality Act. You see, this is
Yeah,
the
that was
nonsense
because they
that
wouldn't bake
do.
a cake saying a happy gay wedding.
No,
or
it was the
something like
hotel.
that.
Get the right
Well, what did they
case.
do wrong then?
Get the right
What did that
case.
hotel do then?
Defend
Hang
the
on.
state.
No,
I'm just
no,
demonstrating what the Christian Institute are.
I'm old.
I'm
He
demonstrating
wished-
what the Christian
this old
Institute
fella
are.
here, he said that you missed the sexual revolution, and he wished that he had all of that happen to him at school.
I'm coming
Please
from a
do.
Christian family, from 9 children.
Well,
All
most
these
people did at
Wait,
your age,
Can
didn't
you
they?
listen to me, please?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. 9 children.
Hurry up and take your time. Go on.
All the children missed the secondary school. All 9 children.
Yeah.
Colin, come
They
here
all
better
did
than
what?
Colin.
Sorry.
Missed the secondary school.
Why did they
Very
miss?
sorry.
Why did they miss?
Because they were taught so much in those old vicious like you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they couldn't enough concentrate on their studies because of the lack of knowledge.
They couldn't study because they didn't have knowledge
That's
of
also
what?
happened to me.
Of what?
This sexual thing.
I think he's
Going
saying that
around in
the
world
9
and
children in
you're
his
not
family couldn't study because they didn't have the sexual education. Well, how come people have studied without this for millennia? How come people can concentrate on their algebra without having this?
because the world is moving on and you're staying behind. Yes?
Come back, please, guys. Yeah, well, Mr. Ash, thank you very much for that. It was always very interesting. Brother Steve gets involved, but I do like the fella. You've got to like him. Anyway, Mr. Ash, any last thing? Parents, don't accept. I said it before. Don't accept what Steve says or what I say. Be informed what the schools are teaching your children, and ask them every
Check
week
your
what did you
sources.
learn.
When they're
Check your
fundamental
sources.
radical
100%.
Christian
And when they're LGBT trans radicals who are perverting the school system, trans radicals.
What about Christian radicals?
Okay, I'm in favour of Christian radicals, and he's in favour of trans radicals.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm in favour of trans radicals.
What do you think of trans?
What trans radicals? You
Well,
define
no,
that. You
trans
brought up that
radicals
term.
are people who have politicised, who've politicised the trans movement as far as
How are they radical?
they're radical because they're pushing an agenda on the population
they
that's
pushing it
gone
on you?
way before.
Are they pushing
they're
it on
pushing
you?
it on my children.
Right, how old are your children?
I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to give.
They're old
I'm not
now,
going to give
aren't they?
Steve
Aren't they
any.
20s?
No, I've got a 12. So a child about your age. So I mean, we both have a dog in the fight, so to speak.
The dog.
Don't no.
Colin.
He's funny. The last time I
knew
talked
you
about
like
trans
that.
species, he had his eye on that sausage dog, but I don't know what
Piers-
happened to it. That's the thing.
Piers-
Steve, what happened
Piers-
to that
Piers-
sausage dog? It's not been seen in the park.
There are some
Piers Corbyn is
species
a
that do
penguin.
actually
Yeah.
mate in the same.
I can well believe that. Yeah. Piers Corbyn is a penguin.
Not Piers
Yeah.
Corbyn.
Yeah.
Piers.
Not Piers
Can I
Corbyn.
ask, if Steve was trans species,
Piers Morgan.
what species
Piers Morgan.
would he be? Could you comment on the things? If Steve was trans species, what kind of species do you think he'd be? A tiger.
He'd be a
Anyway,
tiger.
well done, Mr. Rack.
He'd be a tiger.
That warmed you up.
Mad thing.